everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
No, because what do you mean you thought you were going to crack for $300? I have been dying to tell you guys this story ever since I went to Colombia a couple of weeks ago. I was at the airport and I am standing in the line waiting to board my flight. Mind you, this is a solo trip to Colombia. I was thinking about canceling the trip because the weather was going to be bad and I just wasn't feeling it, but I already had the flight booked, already had everything taken care of. So I'm like, let me go ahead and take my little trip, okay? I get there and I'm waiting in the line to be able to board the plane and I see that there are maybe 2 other black people in this line. Now, one of the black men is behind me in the line. The other black man is in front of me, and the way that the line is curving, we are directly like within eye contact of each other. So I'm just minding my business. I'm on my phone. I think I was watching Love Island. I look up and I see that he is staring me down. Like he is already making eye contact when I raise my eyes. So of course we connect and I just smile a little bit because it's awkward. Like we just made this eye contact. We're strangers. So I notice him in my peripheral vision that he is looking at me and he keeps on smiling. Anyway, at this point, I'm feeling like this man is definitely going to say something to me, but I'm just minding my business, right? He boards the flight before me and he is sitting a couple of seats ahead of me. So he's already seated by the time that I get on the flight and I peep him. Of course, he's the one who's like leading it, but also I have engaged a bit at this point. So I'm like, let me just look ahead and pretend like I don't see him. So I'm walking. You guys, I get to where he is sitting and he's in an aisle seat. He sees me and he kind of brushes my leg to get my attention. He's like, oh, hey. And I just kind of like smile and I keep walking. I don't say hey back. I just smile. Like it wasn't anything too serious and I wasn't offended or anything like that. But I was like, that's a little bit presumptuous of you to touch me. You know what I mean? But whatever. I wasn't overthinking it. I'm pretty easygoing. I go and I sit. I think the flight to Colombia was, I don't know, from Houston, maybe like 4 or 5 hours. I'm already knowing. I put it in our bulletin. If you want to join the bulletin where I put like little updates and things between story times, between uploads, join us over there. It's called The Girls. Go to my page, just click on it. But anyway, I put in the bulletin. I'm like, y'all, the guy that I saw when I was boarding the plane, I know for a fact he's going to try to find me and I'm going to do everything I can to avoid him just to see how hard he tries to find me. You know what I mean? I do this for the sport, for the love of the game, okay? I get off the plane. We go through immigration. There's a line for immigration and he catches me in the line, y'all. He asked me, you know, how I am. He asked me if I'm from Houston. I'm like, no, I live in Vegas. This was his birthday trip. He was supposed to come with a friend, but the friend had like backed out last minute. So he was here to still try to celebrate his birthday. I'm like, cool. He's like, I would love to see you and, you know, get to know you better. Mind you, I didn't even describe what this guy looks like. He has a beard. He's got short hair, nice smile, very, very nice smile, but you know, nothing over the top. He was a good looking man, but nothing too crazy that I would be like, you know, super, super interested. So anyway, we are walking through and he keeps like waiting for me at like the next place. I'm like, you don't gotta wait for me, child. I just got off of the flight. I'm not, you know, feeling my best. I want to get to the hotel. I want to relax. I don't really want to be engaging right now. He ends up asking me for my number. I give him my number. I go to the cash exchange so that I can get some Colombian money. And so he ends up coming over and this was my first ick. He asks me how to do it. And I'm like, what do you mean how do you do it? You know, and I try to be sensitive because I know that not everybody travels as much as I do. Him asking me how to do it just kind of like, it's like you just go and you ask them if you can change the money. He does that. He's like, okay, I'm gonna text you. Hopefully we can go get dinner. I'm like, okay. So I end up leaving. I go outside. This random Colombian man is like trying to talk to me and I'm just like, brother, please get out of my face. I end up getting inside of the car. They're driving me over. It was only like 30 minutes or so to get to the hotel. He texts me. We need to give him a name. Let's call him 50. 50 ends up sending me a text message and he's like, did you make it safe? I'm like, yeah, I made it safe. All of the tourists stay in this one area of Colombia called El Poblado, right? A lot of restaurants, there's a bunch of clubs and stuff over there. So we're both, you know, pretty close to that area. The next day is when we ended up actually connecting and I said I was open to going to dinner with him. So I'm getting ready, I'm live, I'm yapping and I take a little bit too long because I have to do my little outfit of the night video. The place that we were supposed to meet ended up closing at 10 and I believe it was already like 9:30. So I look it up and I send him a message. I'm like, oh, the place is actually going to close super soon. I think we should probably go somewhere else. He's like, okay, well, where do you want to go? Ugh, ick number 2. Don't ask me where I want to go. Like, you got thumbs, look it up, baby. But because it was my fault, I was like, okay, whatever, I'll look it up. End up finding another place that has really pretty ambiance. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can kind of see what the vibe was. And it was super pretty. So I end up walking over there. It was only like a 5-ish minute walk from my hotel. The really sweet girl, or the hostess, she ends up taking like a little video for me, took a photo for me. And so I end up going inside. I see him, and this is the first time that I'm seeing him since the airport. He is dressed very average. No shade. I'm dressed more for like a date, realistically, and like a night out, and he's kind of just dressed like, I don't want to call it bummy, but just very, very regular. This is where I start learning more things about him. He tells me that he is a cop, okay, 50. He is much older than I realized. He was like 40. I thought that he was probably my age. So I guess that says something good about him. He says that he works with kids. He was definitely trying to like make himself sound like a really great guy. And maybe he is, but doubtful because of what ends up happening, but walk with me, okay? He tells me that he went to Dominican Republic, and it was kind of one of those things where someone leaves the country once and that's all they can talk about. He kept on bringing it up. He kept on talking about it, telling me stories, and I'm just like, I don't care, bro. I mean, I have been to Bora Bora, I've been to Dubai. I get it. It can be a topic of conversation, but he was like beating a dead horse, telling me the most minuscule things, and it really felt like it was to flex that he has traveled before. And I'm like, you don't know who you're dealing with, but whatever. So I'm listening to him. I'm like giggling. I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And by the way, I've never been to DR. I would love to go. It's not the location that was sending me. It was the way that he was talking about things that were not that impressive or not that exciting. And I'm just like, oh wow, you went to the hotel pool? That's so cool. You know what I mean? Anyway, girl, we end up looking at the menu and I'm asking him like, oh, do you like octopus? Because I love octopus. And he's like, oh nah, like I don't really eat that. And just like, oh brother, I hate a boring taste palette. He's giving chicken tenders and fries. Let's explore a little bit. Let's be a little more open. We order the food. We're talking some more. And so he ends up telling me that he's part of a Divine Nine Greek organization, so Black fraternity, and he is a Kappa. In college, I definitely dated a lot of frat guys, and they all have their stereotypes, okay? So when he told me that, I was like, okay, this kind of tracks based off of everything else that he has told me, okay? He ends up telling me that he makes content, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, like I make content as well, but there's something about a man taking content too seriously that just rubs me the wrong way. To be honest, I literally look at TikTok as a girly app, and maybe it's just the way that I use it and the things that I engage with. It's very fashion, very, you know, tea, very beauty, very girly pop. He told me how he went to go see this one specific spot, which is kind of like the main attraction of the excursion that he went on. And so he was like, oh, it was so miserable. It was raining and I just wasn't prepared for the rain, but it was all worth it because I got my content at the end. I got my pictures. And I was like, yuck! Like, ew! So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm really playing it off. You would never know that I was egged out by any of this. As we're talking, he's like, what are you doing after? I was like, oh, I'm gonna meet up with this friend that I made. There was a girl who lives in Colombia. I met her the night before. And I was like, oh, we're gonna go to the club that we were at last night because they played the music that we like. And he is basically inviting himself without inviting himself. He's putting out feelers to see if he can tag along. And I'm not saying yes and I'm not saying no, but at the same time, I'm just like, this is gonna be awkward because this is one of the few places that plays R&B and hip hop. So he's probably gonna end up there. So it's almost less awkward if he just comes with me to meet the girl and then we can go our separate ways. So I'm just like, oh no, it's cool. And he was like super excited when I said that he could come along. He ends up paying for the food. We end up leaving and going over to the place. And then we end up getting a space. I remember the man working there who said basically like, this is the cost of the bottles. He gives us a menu so we can look at everything. And in my brain, I'm like, well, we should just get a bottle. The bottle is maybe like $200. I'm thinking, of course, my perspective from being in the US, a bottle in Vegas, a bottle in Miami, that is a deep discount compared to what people spend in the States, you know? And he's from Houston, so it's not gonna be as expensive as like a main big city, but still, you know that's gonna cost you money to drink. But for me, I'm gonna let you do your thing. You're the one paying for it. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, and you're the man. I'm just a girl, you know? So he asked me what I want to drink. I say tequila, so he could either order a bottle or a shot. He just gets shots. I'm like, big mistake, brother, whatever. So he ends up getting us 2 shots of tequila and some Red Bull. We end up taking it. We're sitting together. He kind of has his arm around me. We're in this like big section with just the 2 of us. There's a bunch of working girls all around the club, and you know, they're scoping the scene, and then more and more people come, and now it's like pretty packed in there. We end up getting another drink. Now, the girl that I had met, she was there in the spot, but she was kind of like off doing her own thing. Respectfully so, because she needed to make her money too, if you know what I mean. Very, very sweet girl. Honestly, I've been keeping in touch with her. Like, we have been texting on WhatsApp and everything. So no shade to her at all, but she was there for a reason, if that makes sense. So we end up having another drink, and then I tell her like, hey, you can come over if you want to. I didn't want her to think that I didn't want her around me or around him. I definitely felt no types of way about it at all. And if he had wanted to patronize her for some services, I wouldn't have been mad at it either. You know what I mean? That's not my man. I could care less. She ends up coming over. He wants to take the shot that we have at the table. You know, I make it cute. I'm like, oh, can we order her a shot too? Like, I feel bad drinking in front of her. He's like kind of reluctant about it. And I've actually not encountered this very often where a man is reluctant to get a drink for a girl's friend. If you're interested in the girl, you're gonna get her a drink and her friend or friends a drink as well. It's just like the normal thing to do. But he was kind of cranky about it, but he ends up agreeing to it. They end up bringing her a shot as well. The 3 of us cheers. We take the shot together. She and I are kind of like, you know, dancing, vibing together, talking a little bit. And you guys, I did this for my own personal entertainment. Dreams and Nightmares comes on, and you guys know this is the Black National Anthem. He's sitting up on the section, like not on the seat, but like on the back of the seat. Very baddie behavior, if I'm being honest. And you know, they hit the lights and everything. I literally take out my phone and I start recording him with the flash on, and I'm giggling to myself as I'm doing it because it's such like Instagram baddie behavior for him to be sitting up there, you know, doing his little rap or whatever, and I'm like recording. I was cracking up internally, I'm not even gonna lie. And then we take one more drink, and now it's time for us to go. He is figuring out the check situation, and I end up going to the bathroom. I come back and he is still talking to the man about the check. It does look a little bit tense. He does look like he's like looking at it, and he's like, da, 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 and they're going back and forth, and I'm like, whoa. I go back to the table, and the girl is like, oh, I think your friend is having trouble with the bill. And I'm like, what that got to do with me? I'm so confused. I'm like, okay, I mean, I ain't got nothing to do with us. So we start giggling, and then we go to the entrance. We're waiting for him to wrap it on up. He ends up finishing, and he comes out, and he's looking, again, a little bit cranky, a little bit agitated. And I'm just like, I don't know how much the bill ended up being, but it couldn't have been more than maybe $300, you guys. No more than $300. And it would have been cheaper to just get the bottle. As we're walking out, there's a guy who's like, come to my club. I give you free hookah, free shots, da, da, da. At this point, he's saying how he's tired. I'm like, well, go home. So me and my homegirl can be outside doing what we got to do. But he's insistent that he comes with us. They do bring us out a free hookah. I don't smoke hookah, so So they're hitting it and they're like, oh, this is that. I'm like, oh, this is free. The guy ends up bringing us 3 shots as he promised. And I, of course, need to have some Red Bull. I cannot just take a shot to the head, okay? I need a little bit of something to lessen the impact. And after we finish taking the shots and we're ready to go, the guy brings him a bill for the Red Bull. And I swear, you guys, it's like this sent him over the edge. He was so pissed that he had to pay for the Red Bull. And I'm over here like, it's a Red Bull. It can't be more than a couple doll hairs. Like, what are you so mad about? But I ended up finding out he definitely just like laid all his cards out. He was like, you know, I really like you. I don't want any of these other girls. Because of course the girls are like, you know, hey, puppy, whatever. They have a job to do. And I'm like literally reassuring him that he can do whatever he wants. I'm like, it's your birthday. Have fun. Do your thing. He's like, no, I don't want them. I want you. You're the only person I want. They're not you. So then finally, I think he's just tired of being demure. So he's like, I want you. I was just like, okay. I'm just like giggling. And he was like, can I have you? And I'm like, ew, what do you mean? So that's what I say. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, I want, like, can I have you? Will you come back with me? I say, because what are you talking about? It's not like we were kissing. It's not like, you know, I told him like, I really like you. I want to make you happy. Don't talk to these other girls. Like, it was quite the opposite. So I was just a little bit baffled by the assumption or by the question. And I was just like, no. And then he was like, oh, okay. Like, are you sure? Am I sure? Am I sure? Yes, I'm sure. What are we talking about? And it's so funny because my friend barely spoke English, so we were talking to each other through Google Translate. And she sends me a message and she was like, girl, I think he really likes you. And I was like, girl, he's just trying to crack. And I literally said crack. And she was like, huh? And I was just like, he wants to sleep with me. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, no, girl, they're all the same. Like, he is not special. He doesn't view me any differently. That was that. We end up leaving that place. And now we're ready to have a little bit of something to end the night because it's been hours by now. We go to a place where they have just like some street food. And it is a sit down place. You can get bottle service and stuff there as well. We're looking at the menu. I'm looking at it. She's looking at it. And I'm like asking him like, oh, does anything look good to you or whatever? Y'all, this man is so tapped out. He's sitting back in his seat like this. He is over it. And I'm like, why did you come here? Like, you could have just left. You could have left after the first spot. You could have left after the second spot. But for some reason, you're here at the third place with us. And I've already told you what it is. Well, realistically, I told you what it ain't. So why are you still here? I'm like looking at the stuff. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get something small. Probably just get like French fries, maybe like a couple of wings or something like that. And y'all, he literally looks at me and he says, yeah, you guys do whatever you want, like get whatever you want, but I've already spent too much money tonight. I've already spent too much money tonight. I don't know that I've ever had a man blatantly say that he doesn't have any more money to spend, which, I mean, I don't think that's actually the case. I'm sure he had more money, but to be able to say it without embarrassment is so crazy to me. You literally could have been like, oh, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna head back. Wow. The secondhand embarrassment was so strong. I get it. You were not expecting to spend as much money as you did. But at the end of the day, you're on vacation. It's your birthday. You're out of the country in Colombia at that. Did you think you were gonna party for free? You're a man. You know, you're gonna have to pay for the liquor. You're gonna low-key have to pay for the company. So I'm just confused as to why he was so bothered that he had to spend money to have a good time. Maybe it's just the fact that he wasn't gonna be able to take me home with him that just like agitated him and he just didn't want to pretend anymore. But this is the reason why I say that these guys, even when they're so nice and courteous, and he came off very, very sweet, very complimentary of me and just kind-hearted and unassuming, this is what it was at the end of the night. He wanted to take me home. I said no, and now all of a sudden he done spent too much. So he ended up leaving. Me and my girl were just, the second he walked away far enough, we made eye contact and we start cracking up. He got back to his hotel not that long later because we're not that far. And he sends me a text and he was like, I really like you and I wish you were here with me. I'm just thinking about you or whatever. And I'm just like, yo. And that was really it. He did end up texting me again and I just never responded. So where do they find these men? This is what we have to choose from. I mean, enough.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional, and yes, we lit. All right, listen, man. First of all, he's a police officer. He's not an NBA player, not a real estate agent. Not a tech guy. He's not a... trying to think of people that make a lot of money. He's not an engineer. He's not, he's a police officer on a police officer's budget. And you know what police officers do when they post TikToks? They do their little stupid, they have no rhythm. The movement is very stiff because they're used to being in that bulletproof vest, in them tight ass pants. It's a police officer. Now she's downing a man for having a regular job. This is crazy. You hear me? He didn't expect to spend this type of money. He was like, yo, I spent too much money. Look, okay, I ain't even got my pension yet. Listen, hey, regular guys, man, don't be ashamed to tell nobody you ain't got the money for them. Don't be ashamed. Now, this is our new gorgeous doll. Shout out to Abby. Oops.
As again,
No, because what do you mean?
Shout out to Explore with Abby, because I've had a few of her videos, and I like her stories. Her stories are straight to the point. But this is the one I will not side with her based on the guy she chose. Not she even chose, because he kind of tagged along. But if she thought that he was just balling, that's correct. Because even listen. I give you that same energy, but I wouldn't even. No, I wouldn't even do it. Honestly, I wouldn't even go out with you like that. I wouldn't even hang out with you like that. I've spent money outside in the clubs and stuff, and I'll be like, yeah. This ain't me. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I went to Orlando. I went to a club, spent $100 to get in the club with me and a couple friends. And then it was $20 a shot or $20 a bottle. I said, I'll buy us a couple shots. But I was like, man, we ain't finna be up in here turning up. That's what we not finna do. Because if I'm paying $20 it was $20 for a beer, $20 for a shot. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing, I'm not, hey, we gonna do this because we here. And after this shit, if y'all want to keep drinking, I'll be sober in this mug. I can have a good time sober up in this mug because I'm not spending $20 a drink. But the club was fire, though. I ain't gonna lie, the club was fire. It was popping. It was dun everywhere. But I ain't finna go into that. But it's another story. But for real, that I think Abby is used to a different type of man spending money on her, but I'm pretty sure she's single and she gonna remain single, and she's only going for, sprinkle, you know what I'm saying? She's a sprinkle, okay? I promise. But ain't nothing wrong with that, but that's her lifestyle. I just think she led the wrong man on. Or she didn't even lead him on because he kind of like invited himself into shit. But then she was like, she didn't tell him like, yo, I ain't really here for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't handle this, then it is what it is. And I would rather somebody tell me, like, I need you to buy this, and this. And I could be like, nah, that ain't me. Because I'm cool. I'm fine with telling you, nah, you know what? Hey, I see you around, holler at you. No problem with it. My ego won't even let me buy you shots like that at no price. Okay, I'm not even getting you drunk for what? I don't. Why would I even want to get you drunk? Cause why would I want a drunk woman? I don't even want to. He's a police officer. He don't even want to drink like that. So why would he buy a bottle to get everybody drunk? And he's a police officer. He don't even drink like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the wrong guy to be like, to make a story about him being such a bad person. He's not a bad person. He's a police officer. He lives on a police officer's budget. He's happy about the little TikTok following he has. And then she tried to make it seem like, oh, TikTok is a girl's app. You know what I'm saying? Is it? So now men can't have fun because we on TikTok. Oh my God. Niggas can't have fun on TikTok no more because it's a girl's app. But anyway, man, that's crazy. Crazy situation, man. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.